in Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, which stands for Plug-in Hybrid Electric Vehicle. The Outlander comes in Switzerland, or starts in Switzerland, at the price of 39,900 Swiss francs. The one we have here would cost you 53,700 Swiss francs. We have here a 2.4 liter petrol engine producing 135 horsepower at 4,500 RPM, which combined with the front electric engine producing 82 horsepower and the rear electric engine producing 95 horsepower comes together to 224 horsepower at 4,500 RPM. Maximum torque is 211 Newton meters at 4,500 RPM, 0 to 100 in 10.5 seconds. Top speed, if you drive in EV mode, fully electric, is 135 kilometers per hour. If you drive in hybrid modes, it's 170 kilometers per hour. We have the Euro 6D temp CO2 emission, and we're having 40 grams of CO2 per kilometer. And obviously it depends on if you drive in hybrid, electric, or with a petrol engine alone. I had a fuel consumption in the mix between 3.1 to 8.8 liters on the highway at 125 kilometers per hour. Obviously you have different modes you can drive in here. You can have an e-safe, you can have an e-charge, so it means the petrol engine is running and charging the battery at the same time. You can charge it obviously over the cable, which is on the right side of the car. We have a cut demo charging for fast charging, which charges the battery 80% in 25 minutes, if you can find a charger like that. However, you can plug it in as well into your house plug, which will charge the battery in approximately 5.5 hours. Now, as usual, you've seen the car from outside. I'll show you the first row, the second row, the boot, and then we drive and I tell you what I think about it. But before we hop in, thank you very much Garage Suta AG in Ringgenberg, who provided this car to me. You'll find the link in the description in case you're interested in buying either Mitsubishi or as well BMW, which they are having as well. And as AutoReview is a one-man show, I'm doing this myself. Please hit the subscribe button if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and activate the bell icon so you're informed about any new video that is coming out. Now, without further ado, let's hop in and I'll tell you what I think about it. Enjoy! Alright, so the Outlander from inside. And first thing first, very good visibility. When you drive, you obviously sit elevated because you're an SUV, so you sit higher. We have super comfortable leather seats with this diamond stitching here. I really like it. We have ISOFIX on the passenger side as well as 2 ISOFIX on the back. And well, let's check the rest now. On the left we have the electric adjustable mirrors with blind spot assistant. We have the lock for the rear windows for your children, as well as the windows, which have all one-touch function on all 4 spots, which is great. Then we have this leather as well in the doors with the diamond stitching as well. We have this, well, it looks a little bit like carbon fiber-ish style. Soft touch all around, which is great. Obviously here we have leather as well. And on the bottom we have hard plastic. Then we have space for bottles here, as well as a little compartment for smaller items. On the left side we have then buttons to go through the screen in the middle, which obviously doesn't work now because we have the door open. ESP on and off. On the bottom we have the collision assistant, lane departure warning, sonar for the radar system, radar off, as well as the electric tailgate. And for electric tailgate you have as well here a button to activate it or to deactivate it, just for information. Steering wheel is adjustable in reach and rake, however not too far. I wish it would be a little bit further that you could pull it towards you. Then leather wrapped steering wheel, which is nice, with a lot of multifunctional buttons. So on the left we have a source button for the radio, obviously. We have a camera button, which you can activate a 360-degree camera. So now I have one pointing towards forward. When you put the reverse gear in, you have the reverse, and you have cameras on the side as well. And the one in the mirror on the right side, actually you can activate while driving as well. You can play games to basically drive on the lane or as close as possible to the lane. Then volume up and down, and switching radio stations, as well as voice recognition and telephone call buttons. On the right we have the cruise control and the speed limiter. Unfortunately, cruise control starts only at 40 kilometers an hour. This is, in my opinion, a negative point. Then we have the radar in 3 settings, so how close or how far you can drive. Then the dashboard is different. You have on the right the speedo, on the left no RPM, because obviously it's a hybrid. We have a charge echo, engine on indicator, let's call it this way, so you obviously see if you're charging the batteries when you're recuperating the energy while braking, or for example rolling down a hill. And you can use these pedals here not for shifting, because obviously an automatic and you don't shift with this one. You can activate the recuperation and adjust it in 5 settings. So from B1 to B5, and B5 obviously it slows down a lot, so you can actually save your brakes in city traffic, as it will, when you take off your foot from the gas, it will right away starts slowing down the car. Then adjustment knob for the light, push start button on the right side. Then we have a 7-inch navigation, I'm sorry to say 7-inch multimedia screen, because it has no inbuilt navigation. That's why you see this cable dangling around here, because once you plug in your phone, in my case an iPhone, you'll use Google Maps or Maps over the phone via Apple CarPlay. Now, another thing that I'm not so liking is, well, obviously it's small, and obviously the screen is not the whole thing, but you have a black part on the right, left, top and bottom. It's kind of small for 2019, I have to say, and it's lagging a little bit of speed, I have to say. Once I press it, you see it's like a second, half a second before it reacts. Another thing I really don't like is this auto reset mode, because it will delete all your data for your fuel consumption after every trip. You can readjust it, I did it, but again, after leaving the car overnight, the next day everything was gone. Now it shows me 7.1 liters and 16.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, with 45% of driving in EV mode. And this is the thing as well, the hybrid, you have to make sure that you use it where it actually shines, which is city traffic. If you drive a lot of highway, this will not help you a lot, because personally I drive 65 kilometers to work, and obviously the battery is not enough to run the car on a highway. Even though you could drive 135 kilometers in EV, it will not last, and obviously the petrol engine will turn on. Another really annoying thing is you can't use EV mode on a highway, or you can't force it in EV mode on a highway if you drive with cruise control. Once you turn on cruise control, it turns off EV mode and it becomes a hybrid. You can't drive fuel electric with cruise control. I don't understand why. Then we have an indicator here for the belts if everyone is buckled up, hazard light, eco mode, and as well seat belt on and off for the passenger side, in case you have a baby seat here. Kind of old school, it looks really like from the 80s, I have to say. And then dual zone air conditioning, obviously you can link it or you can do it with individual, 12-volt power socket, a little compartment for the key. Then what I mentioned as well, the activation of the tailgate on and off. Then we have a USB port, heated front screen. We have heated steering wheel, we have the blind spot assistant on and off, 2 cup holders which you can close and open, however they don't have any spaces, so you see the bottles are flying around here. Then the shift knob for the gear, buttons to put it in the EV mode, to force it into EV mode, then obviously drive and battery. B is for charging the batteries more. However, you have to decide to do that before you start driving. Once you're driving, you can't switch between B and D. Save and charge mode, so obviously to save the battery or to charge the battery while driving. Then we have the twin motor 4-wheel drive system. You can put it in snow, normal or lock, as well as a sport button, which obviously turns on the engine and uses all the power from the electric engines and the engine. Electronic parking brake with auto hold function, which is great. Heated seats in 2 settings with kind of, again, old school buttons. Then we have a armrest here, which you can't slide forward, you can't incline or incline it or put it up and down, and it's basically just space there. Air ventilation here, glove box which has a big compartment here on top, which is great, so even A4 folders will fit inside, plus a huge manual. Obviously hybrid, you need more things to read. Automatic dimming mirror. We have the roof, which is electric, obviously. What I like as well is we have a black roof line here. Everything is nice and dark. Illuminated mirror for driver and for passenger. And that's pretty much it for the front. Again, seats are electric in this version, obviously. However, no lumbar support. They're very comfortable, but one criticizing point is I'm obviously a little bit heavier. So when I drive, the seat is touching the center console here and it's making noise. You will hear that later when we drive. I'm gonna show this to you. But that's for the front. Let's check the second row. All right, second row Outlander. Seat is in front is adjusted to me. I'm 1.84 meters tall. Obviously we have the electric roof, which goes all up to here. So you do have some space, which is okay. We have something to hold on to, a little hook for your jacket, electric window, which has no one-stop function or one push function from this side. Only the one from the driver can use it with auto function. And obviously, as I mentioned, it doesn't go all the way down. It is tinted B-pillar all around, which is good. We have a compartment in the doors to put some items, even small 0.5 liter bottles will fit. Then pockets on the rear side of the front seats. Air vents, basically turn off and on or open and close. One USB port, which isn't enough for 3 people in the back. You can get a 230 volt power plug here and in the back. However, this car doesn't come with it. And what I like as well, you can see you can incline the seats or put them a little bit more relaxed. Depends on how you like to sit. We have an armrest with 2 cup holders, plastic, no spacers, and the headrest. This is the highest position, which is okay. So if you drive relaxed, it's not bad. Little light, obviously, to turn on and off. And that's pretty much it for the second row. No transmission tunnel, which is great. So the person in the middle, sitting in the middle, will have enough space, which is good. And we have as well ISOFIX left and right, obviously, plus 3 3-point seat belts. This one you basically hook in here and then you make another 3-point seat belt out of it. So overall, good space, comfortable seats, good for families and even adults. So let's check the boot. All right, so coming to the boot and the rear of the Outlander. Before we get to that, so we have 2 refilling options for this car, which is one on the right side of the car. We have the 2 chargers for the electric juice, let's call it this way, and another one on the left for the petrol. However, this one you can't open like this, so you have to use the lever, which is when you open the door left of the seat. A little bit weird why this one is easy to open, this one you have to open like that. Another thing is, if the car is locked, it doesn't work that you open the boot like you see it here. It will open the boot, but it doesn't work electrically. You have to unlock the car and then press one time and the electric tailgate opens. We have the reverse camera, as you can see here. What I like as well is very clean, red and white lights, no orange. We have a protective metal or aluminum part over the bumper with an Outlander logo in it, which is nice. Opens pretty high. I'm 184 tall, so it's exactly at my height, I would say. Obviously, we are standing here a little bit in the slope. We have a subwoofer on the left, a little compartment there, 2 couples on the right, 12 volt outlet socket there, and a little bit deeper pocket on the right side. Below the boot floor, you'll find a little compartment for the cables for charging, as well as an emergency triangle and a compressor kit, plus a little bit of storage to put some small items there as well. In total, we have 731 liters of boot space if you have the seats up, and if you fold them down, up to 1,602 liters. All right, so let's press the button for the tailgate to close. And now, without further ado, let's jump in, drive, and I'll tell you how it behaves on the road. Let's go. All right, so let's drive the Outlander PHEV. And we are now in normal mode with, let's just put it actually in twin lock, the 4-wheel drive. Even though we don't really need it, it's just a little way here. Nah, we don't need it. It's okay, let's keep it normal. Now, the things that I would like to see improved, let me just put it like this, maybe you see me better, are a few. So first of all, the screen. It's not 2019, I have to say, I'm sorry. It's way too small, it's lagging speed, and yeah, overall it's okay, it does what it's supposed to do, but if you compare it with other manufacturers, it's not really up to date. Now, the thing is, the seat here depends on how I sit, that somehow it's squeaking and touching. It does actually this thing, you know. It does touch the center console, but maybe it's because of me, I'm a big heavy guy. Now, some of the materials here, even though it's soft touch, they don't appear very upscale, let's call it this way. And especially this one looks so old school 80s, you know, and this one here, as well as the buttons for the heated seats. It's like they didn't finish the car totally. It's like, okay, we still have to do these buttons. What do? We put it here. Same thing with, like, on the right side you can open the fuel cap very easily for the electric plugs, but on the one for the petrol, you actually have to do it here over, you know, the old school way. Not sure why. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the points that I don't like so much, right? Oh, one more thing. Lane departure assistant. It's not an assistant, it's actually lane departure warning, LDW, what it says here. It should be an active one, because if I go over lane here, it only does that. It doesn't help you to come back into the lane. But that's it. Positive points. 5-year warranty, 100,000 kilometers. Now we can do the recuperation now. I show you. We are now in B5. It's recharging. Let's go here, here. See, it's a little bit too slow. And we see here energy flow. Now you see the batteries are the wheels are charging the batteries. Basically recuperation. 5-year warranty, 100,000 kilometers for the whole car. 8 years and 160,000 kilometers on the battery, which is great. We have BLED headlights, which are good, really good. No stupid halogen in the first place. Right away, from doesn't matter what you buy, you have right away you have BLED lights, which is really good. Then I do like the seats. They're very comfortable. Especially they look really great as well. I think actually it's a bit too bright now for me. They are really, really comfortable. They look amazing with this diamond cut or diamond look. Now, what is good as well is we're gonna go on a highway a little bit. Yeah, let's go on a highway a little bit. What I like as well is that you have different ways to charge the car. So you can charge it fast charger with cut demo. 80% in 25 minutes, which is really good. However, those chargers are not very popular yet, or there are not many of them around, right? Usually it's type 2 or type 3. And what I love as well is that you have this recuperation. You can adjust this, so how heavy you want it, how much power goes back, and you can basically save your brakes. So if you drive a lot of city traffic, which you should do when you drive a hybrid, you will have a lot of recuperation with this, and you will save your brakes, as I mentioned. Now let's just turn the light here. Can I turn the light on? No, I can't. Whatever. It's okay, it's illuminated. I'm just going through the tunnel. However, you have to keep in mind, so if you, for example, want to save fuel and don't charge the batteries, you just put it on B0 and basically it's coasting. Yeah? It does the coasting thing. Why can't I turn on the light? What is that? Maybe I do this way. There you see me a little bit. Okay, it has active cruise control. Basically, once I put it in cruise control, then it keeps the distance in 3 settings. So I can put it this way or this way, whatever I like. And it's great, I like that. Yeah. However, if I want to drive EV, now it drives in hybrid, so I can put it in eSafe or eCharge. I can put it in Eco, which is great, so it saves a little bit more energy and fuel. However, if I want to drive in full EV mode, it tells me EV mode not accessible, turn off your cruise control. Why? So I have to basically turn off cruise control, then force it into EV, and then it drives all EV. But why I cannot do it on a highway? Again, it's kind of the same thing. They're trying to make this car a city car where it shines, because obviously on the highway I had really high energy consumption, because Mitsubishi claims 14.8 kilowatt per hour or per 100 kilometers. That would mean I could theoretically drive this car on a full charge of battery 93 kilometers. However, because we have a 13.8 kilowatt hour battery, however, they say it's 54. So how do they claim 54 kilometers and 14.8 kilowatt hours at the same time? I don't understand. Maybe I'm wrong, please correct me, but this thing I don't understand. Now, very comfortable. However, one thing as well is steering is way too light. Look at this. It's like, it's too light for driving. It's comfortable if you're someone who doesn't like to be tired of driving and drives a lot, or your wife drives, or your child, or you're not too big as I am, and you want something easy, then it's good. However, there's not much feedback from the road, to be honest, in the sense of steering wheel, because obviously you see we have high gravity, point of gravity, so we're moving left and right a lot. From a suspension point of view, you do feel every little thing on the highway. However, it's not comfortable. You just feel it, you just hear it. I'm not quite sure how they set up this car, but when I drive over a little thing, it basically goes through the entire car, but it's not hard. It's kind of a soft thing. It's like reminds you, hey, there was something. Again, just a little thing to, on the side. I really like this recuperation. It's really great. How about we go here, because it gives really energy back. Thing is, when you drive fully electric in a very quiet environment, it makes a really weird noise. It's like, ooh, ooh. I don't know, it's kind of weird when I do that. It's like a tram, like a tram train or something, electric train. Sounds very weird, kind of funny, but I guess it's the sound, the artificial sound, to alert the people around. I'm not so sure. Just don't take my word on that. Other than that, it's a lot of space, especially in the second row as well, for the kids or for the passengers in the back. Boot space, 731 liters, it's good. If you fold down the seats, 1,600, which is even better. 2 electric engines. The only thing is, obviously, when you drive the car and then you drive it empty, the batteries, you're basically carrying around a lot of weight, which increases fuel consumption again if you just drive with a petrol engine. Because if you're having a longer journey, which is more than this claimed 54 kilometers or 42, whatever I had, right, then you're obviously gonna run into the issue that you have to use the petrol, and then you're basically carrying around 2 tons of car with you without the battery power. So the electric engines will not help you because you don't have any power juice left, and you're just driving the petrol engine. That's why it's a 2.4 liter as well. So you have to be careful, because I read an article about the Outlander in Italy, and it took more than 12 or 13 liters in city traffic, depends on how you're driving, when the batteries were flat, so basically empty. So just keep that in mind. If your journey to work is shorter, anything between 20 and 30 kilometers, you have the possibility to recharge your car at work or at home. This is a great thing, because then you have basically the petrol engine just as a backup. But at the same time, then I would say, okay, why is the petrol engine so big with 45 liters? Should they not have made the battery pack bigger so that you can drive around 100 kilometers electric and only have like a 20 liter fuel tank or 10 liter fuel tank for really the emergency? Not so sure. I think most people are still afraid to drive full electric cars, and they basically choose the way of driving hybrid instead, which gives them the possibility of driving with the petrol engine rather than just electric, in case they can't find a charger. Because the good thing is that you can recharge your car while driving. As far as I'm informed and I read, it takes around 45 minutes from 0 to full if you put it in charge mode. Yeah, so basically the engine turns on and then you drive with the petrol engine and charging the batteries, but at the same time it's using more petrol. Yeah, so you can have to play around and see if this fits into your daily commute, how far you drive, and if it's the right thing. I think hybrids are great, but there has to be some sweet point of how big is the battery, how big does it have to be, versus how small has to be the gas tank, and are there enough chargers, and so on and so on. Well, that's pretty much it. So I hope it was interesting for you. Sorry I was a little bit long this time, because it's actually a very difficult topic to bring across, a hybrid electric car, because you don't know who's actually looking for this car. Is it someone who's switching from a pure petrol powered engine or diesel engine, doesn't want to buy an electric car because he or she is afraid and choose a hybrid, or what's the reason? I'm not so sure. But thank you very much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up, share it, like it, comment below, And thank you very much again, Garage Suter AG in Ringgenberg, who provided this car to me. So I wish you a great day, sunshine, happiness, and all the best. See you next time. Cheers!